What's going on, everybody? All right. I did not mean to release that video on this channel, but enjoy that little short video I just put up. But enjoy. Okay. All right. So we're going to get into this. We got a serious situation on our hands here. Okay, and I want to really get into this, and we all really need to be serious about it today, please, please. I still got trolls, but that's okay. We're gonna try to steer around them. Okay, Janine Lee, how you doing? Sun Energy, how you doing? Super Bubbles. Okay, Freddie Garrett, how you doing? Janine Lee, how you doing? Let's see who else we got in here. Janae, how you doing? Urban Backyard Homesteading, how you doing, my friend? Priscilla Willis, Natalie McHale, Chef Handyman, Point C, how you doing? Growing with Hudson, how you doing, Growing with Hudson? What's going on, my sister? Missy Hawk, what's going on? I hope everything is good over there, Missy Hawk. Missy Hawk, I'm gonna talk to you a little later because this gonna really come down to some serious. Missy Hawk, I hope in April that you can make it. I hope you can make it. Hey TJ, DC Stewart, how you doing? Terry Brooks, what's going on? Let me get my water right. Bouger Prepper, what's going on? Bouger, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here because that's what this is about. I didn't label this anything, did I? Well, good. I'll label it later. All right. TLC in the guard, my sister, what's going on? All right. Rosalind Moore. Okay. All right. Carol Huff, how you doing? About that life. What's up, bro? Okay. Sandra Saunders, Terry Brooks, Von Wheel. Let's get into this discussion today. Missy Hawk. Okay. All right. Everybody, listen. All right. Y'all seen the thumbnail. Did I do the thumbnail right? Okay. I didn't title this video. That was by accident, but I'm kind of glad I didn't. All right, everybody in here today, I'm going to address the challenge that we've been doing, which is, can you cook with only wood for 7 days? Stick with me because this is deeper than what I'm saying. Can you cook with only wood, not charcoal, not lighter fluid? Wood. I don't care if you even go buy the wood. It's a reason for this madness. The reason I say wood, because you can get wood right out in the street, right outside your house, right outside your apartment, anywhere on. You can walk down the block and get some wood. Okay, so if you purchase wood from a big box store and just use it, I don't care. I just want to know, can you cook with wood? Okay, only wood. I don't care if you started with cardboard, okay? I don't care if you started with paper, just no liquid accelerants, no fuel, no lighter fluid, stuff like that. None of that. No gasoline ever, please. Let me see. I got a question. What was it? Can we use homemade fire starters? Yes. You can start your fire with your ferro rod. You can start your fire with friction fire. I'm telling you, my only thing is don't use accelerants. Okay, please. Don't use gasoline or any kind of lighter fluids or anything like that. You can use fat wood. You can use your ferro rod. I don't care. But I'm doing this for a reason, and you're gonna understand after you finish hearing what I'm saying. All right. I'm not supposed. I see what social media is doing, and I'm not supposed to do this, but I got to do something. All right. Cuba is totally out of power. When I say that, their electricity, their grid is a 100% down. Cuba's grid is 100% down, and it's been down for days. How many people have heard of this? Nobody knows that Cuba has been okay. Right. Okay, Clarence Ford said, I saw that they totally down. Cuba has zero grid power. Zero. Not some lights is working on that side of town, but not that side of town. Let me get in here. Okay, heard about that. Urban Backyard Homestead say I didn't know their grid was down. Please go look at it, please. Katina says learning to cook with is definitely challenging, but definitely worth the. It's more than worth it. It's something you need to know. It's not a hobby. It's not a game. It's not a like I want to just see if I can do that. That's over. And I'm trying not to get emotional. Okay, I need to keep my tone right. Say okay, growing something tasty said the ladies are having babies in the dark. Now I want to try my hardest to convey to you the severity of this situation. Not only are women having babies in the dark, there are people over there on life support. There are people over there that they're on oxygen just like everybody else. They're on home medications, CPAPs, and everything else that Americans are on. That you know good and well, if our grid, this ah T-Nog in the house, what's going on, lady? How you look? I mentioned somebody the other day. I ain't gonna say who it was. I ain't gonna say who it was, but it's good to see you. So, and I'm glad you here too. So, the reason I'm doing this is not a joke. People, you're on all kind of okay. Let's look at ourselves. Let's look at ourselves. How much, and be honest with yourself, please. How much do you depend on the system's infrastructure? All right now, Tino. How much do you depend on electricity in this system? How much do you depend on the water from this system? How much you depend on the heat from this system? How much you depend on your cooling? Let's just say HVAC from this system. Where if it goes down, you're screwed. Boujay Purpose said we lost power yesterday for only 30 minutes. I lose power almost every day. And it'd be like for minutes. Yesterday, I watched my lights flick like this all day. And it got to a point I said, well, I'm going to just go take a nap because I'm tired of looking at the lights do this. So I thought our grid was going to go down. But it's an everyday occurrence. Now I need to word my words right, okay? Oh, you must have heard that, Tino. You must have heard that. I want to word my words right, okay? We are in a situation that's so serious that we've only read about situations like this. TLC says Friday, Saturday, and Sunday power kept going out for 30 minutes to 6 hours with the windstorms. Absolutely. Yes. Listen, family, I'm doing this early because before I get up and have to go do some stuff, I need y'all to really, really chime in and tell me, please, oh God, that you got some sort of solar power energy backup. Solar power energy backup is not just because you just want your fan running. I'm talking about, man, everybody in this room, and don't lie when you don't lie. Everybody in this room uses electricity for something. For something. And see, you may not think that is life altering, but you'll be dead wrong if you said that. Hell, my land is off grid, but I know I could live without any of that power. I could live without it. But you also have to realize your age, your skill set, and your time management. Now let's be real, okay? A lot of us right here watching me right now, you can live without energy, right? You have the skills, you have the knowledge. You don't need electricity. But let me tell you something else. If you have the skill set, you may not have the health. Your health may not let you go out there and dig a well for the next 30 days. Your health may not let you be out here just driving nails into this board to build whatever you need. Your health may not have you turning a screwdriver 1,000 times per screw, and you know you got to put at least 100 screws in this structure that you're working on. Now, that's what I'm saying by before you say it's not life altering, I need us to think a little deeper about it, right? Let's think about that. Meaning, we're so spoiled with the energy consumption that we use, you don't even think about it. When you need to drill a screw into something, the first thing you do is go grab a power drill. Whether you plug it in the wall or it's a cordless with a battery, the first thing you do. The second thing you do, T-Nog said, I can live without electricity, but I won't do it. I got solar. And you know something? Listen to this. Without an energy backup system, I want to see a show of hands. And you can, and I want not just a show of hands, but I want you to tell me how many you got. How many people have a deep freezer that depends on electricity? I'm talking about it could be a deep freezer in your garage. It could be the deep freezer on top of your refrigerator. Raise your hand and tell me how many you got. I got I got 5. Full of food. So full of food that I'm going to have to start canning it. How many people have deep freezers, whether it's connected to your refrigerator or you got about 2 or 3 of them in the garage? How many people got a deep freezer and how many do you got? It's not too many people I know with just one anymore. The way things been lately, because when you see a sale in the store with the way prices been over the last damn 6 years, what do? Man, stock up. Oh, yeah, everybody got 2, 3, 3, 6, 4. Okay. See what I'm saying? Look at these. I want y'all to look at these numbers. Look at these numbers. I got 5. 5 on it. I got 5. Now, and for a barbecue guy like me, I got 5 too. Now I want you to think about something real quick. Now I'm trying to put something on your mind because we need to think about this in every aspect that we possibly can. I see the answer to my question I'm about to ask. What if the grid goes down? Somebody tell me, if the grid went down and was going to stay down for a significant amount of time, what is your next move? to preserve your food? How are you going to keep all that food from going bad? I'm waiting for answers. If the grid goes down, and it's going to definitely be down for a significant amount of time, let's just say 30 days. What are you going to do with all that food? Anybody? Amina, start canning. IMC, canning. Michelle Law, can it. Let me see. Polar Bear Cheryl, next move is to can it. DC Stewart, can over open fire. Wait a minute, you gonna choke me out. T-Nog said barbecue in the neighborhood. Can and dehydrate, 637. How can you can when the grid is down? On an open fire. On an open fire. And that is one of the reasons why I got everybody cooking with wood. Can you cook with just using wood? The reason I said in the earlier video about cooking with wood is it was going to be bigger than this, because that's just the first little task of the rest of how all this works. Right? Water bath canning, that's right, Tino. Hell, there was water bath. There was water bath canning before there was pressure canning. I know people don't want to hear that. I know people don't want to hear that. But that's how it was going. Okay? So, my next question that I don't want to get too deep into, I just want to keep the reality of the situation going. Katina says, if it's wintertime, you can put your stuff outside and dig a hole for your refrigerator stuff. Backup generator solar. True, but we need to be thinking about a permanent solution. You could dig a hole in the ground, but let's think a little bit further on a permanent solution, right? T-Nog said, that's what I grew up with, cooking with wood stoves. And that is exactly why I'm asking everybody, please, I don't care if you do it 7 days or 1 day. The reason I'm encouraging everybody to cook with wood, because you think it's no big deal, right? You don't think it's a big deal until you do it. I'm going to tell you, one of the difficulties that everybody that's cooking with wood and doing this challenge, Bougie Prepper, one of the biggest challenges is, let me name my other sister here. She Natural Homestead and Bougie Prepper. They're on my community post. They're challenging themselves to cook with wood for 7 days. One of those challenges is to control that temperature. Controlling your temperature is everything. When you sitting there and you can light some fire, you can throw some Bougie Prepper, say yes, yes. Y'all gotta excuse me. Bougie Prepper say yes, because that is the most crucial. Starting a fire is easy, right? Starting a fire is easy. Getting the fire going and keep putting wood on it is easy. Controlling the fire, that's the masterful part. How much wood should I be putting on for what I'm cooking or what I'm doing? What kind of wood should I be putting on the fire, and how long? How long will this wood burn that I put on here? All of that is factors. You can't just put a log on there and walk away. It don't work that way. Whether you're trying to heat your home or you're trying to use it for cooking. So the reason I'm here, and I feel that this is one of the most important things that every single person that's watching me, even if you're not watching me, every single person on the face of the earth needs to know how to utilize fire. If you don't know how to cook with natural resources, I'm talking about with wood, you're doing yourself and your family a great disjustice. There is no excuse for that, right? There is no excuse for it. If you don't know how to cook with wood, and you just mentioned something, DC said wood smoker is good unless electricity is required. But we're going to talk about a wood smoker. A wood smoker, you can control your temperature better. Okay, instead of it being like an open fire, you can control your temperature a little better when you're using a grill with a lid on it, or using a barbecue smoker with vents on it. You can control that heat and that smoke. You can control it. And that's when let me see. So here's my point. It's still winter time. I need y'all to really think about this. It's still winter time in most of the world, right? Man, can you imagine? Oh God, can you imagine your lights, gas, and water getting cut off right now with no hopes on it ever coming back on? Let me see. Lynette Lewis says, I don't have a smoker, but I have a fire pit and a grill. Fire pit, a grill is easy to control. Fire pit is really hard to control, trying to cook on an open flame like that. Let me see. Miss Red, one thing good about having a wood stove is you can cook on it and stay warm at the same time. Absolutely. Now, uh, so do I have anybody right now that don't understand what I'm saying? Priscilla Willis says, I got a homeboy in Michigan and been without power going on 3 days. If Let me stop here. How long we been in here? 20 minutes. Let me stop here. If I'm gonna answer this question and I'm gonna give you the solution. Everybody keep asking me which solar situation do I think is the best? EcoFlow. Period. I got EcoFlow everything. I do EcoFlow everything because I trust it with my life. Literally. And unless you were on my land in my cabin, you wouldn't understand. When you see me on Freedom Makers, it's no big deal to you because I'm just some dude on the camera, right? But you have no idea how critical my solar setup is. Solar power, I'm constantly checking it. I'm constantly checking the weather because when it's sunny like this, I know I ain't got a care in the world. But let me throw something out here to you. Just because you look up at the sun, you still got to make sure if you got your panels on the ground, hey, animals walk through your yard, people walk through your yard, and they kick them wires out. I got panels on the ground, and one night a deer got startled on the side of my house, on the side of my cabin, kicked my solar wire out. So I'm thinking I'm good and everything, but I didn't know Freedom Makers is in the dark. So everything, listen, if you don't have solar power and you want to know what my favorite is, what I depend on, my life and my livelihood and my family depend on, I don't know if it's the best in the world, I depend on EcoFlow, and that's it. And that's not the sponsorship part of it. It's the real deal. Because look, guess what? I represent Blue Eddy too. I represent Jackery too. I represent Anchor too. And so on and so forth. It ain't, you don't hear or see a lot of that in the back of me. Because once you really put that stuff to the test and your life depends on it, or a critical situation depends on it, then you start making critical decisions. 1 minute I got a Jackery, then I got an Anchor, then I got a Blue Eddy. But when critical situations start arising, there was a clear champion. It was something that never let me down. It was something that kept going. And that was everything I got from EcoFlow. I've had some questionable things from EcoFlow, like the EcoFlow Wave, the heater / air condition. But all they did was change a couple things with that firmware update, off and running. Okay, so here's the thing. I needed to make sure you knew that, because everybody keep asking me, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I use EcoFlow. That's what I trust with my safety. So that link is in the description box. If you want to go over to EcoFlow and go shopping, my code is in there. That'll save you a little money. So reason why I'm doing this. Bouger Purpose said that's why practice and challenges help you see what works and what doesn't. I can't agree with you more. Now, if you're still on the fence about doing any of this, Missy Hawk says, okay, let me stop playing and pull out my grill and get some wood and get cooking. I'm telling you, this ain't for fun anymore. This is okay. Let me see. I'm going to do the best I can, because I'm getting a real smack in the face by talking about certain situations that social media don't want you talking about. So I'm going to try another way to get my point across. Puerto Rico whole grid is out. Here's my question to you. United States of America is in a really bad place right now. I'm trying to say this without saying it. So I need you to be adult and use your thinking skills and try to put together what I'm saying. United States of America is in a very, very bad place right now. We have no friends. We have no allies. Led, is it okay to buy EcoFlow, use EcoFlow Pro? Do you know how to fix it? That's your answer. If you know how to fix it, that is your answer, okay? United States is in a bad situation. And see, even though there are higher ups making decisions for all of us. What did I say? Puerto Rico? I meant Cuba. Did I say Cuba or Puerto Rico? I meant Cuba. You said Cuba and Puerto Rico? Grid is down? I hope I ain't been saying that wrong this whole time. Okay. Hey, Nikki Walker. All right. Hey, Red Carpet. And thank you for that. If you don't want to buy I said Puerto Rico once. I meant Cuba. I'm sorry. Y'all. I said Cuba. I probably said them both. I'm sorry, but I just want y'all to understand that's what I meant, okay? just a slip of the tongue, and mad respect for saying that's, I don't mean to call the wrong name out. If you don't know how to build, yeah, I meant no disrespect by that to anybody from Puerto Rico, okay? If you don't know how to build your own solar system, please just buy one that's plug and play. And that's why I keep talking about EcoFlow. Just buy a plug and play so you don't got to think about it. There is no learning to it. You just plug it up and work. Okay? My question to you is, we know that Cuba's grid is totally down. We also know that they are being threatened by a madman. Okay? Yeah, I know, Tino. I'm just like, because some people try to tear me up when I say something wrong. I just wanted to fix it real quick. So give them, a little glass of water and sit down somewhere. Thank you, Francine. Cuba is being threatened by a madman as we speak. Please don't say his name. We have lost friends and allies in a little over 1 year. What has been a year and 3 months? I need you to be honest with you. We have lost all of our friends and allies in less than a year and a half. We have lost all of our friends and allies. And we have gained threats and enemies and new enemies. Not only have we lost friends and allies, we have turned our friends and allies into our enemies. So on top of our enemies we already had, we have turned our friends and allies that was going to help us fight against enemies, we have turned them too into enemies. We didn't just say, you go your way, I'm going to go mine. We have literally turned them into enemies where they don't want to have nothing to do with us. Again, there's a reason I'm saying this. How long do you think that this whole thing that we're living in right now is going to stay afloat? Listen, we have hit an iceberg. This boat done hit the iceberg. And I understand that it's so horrific you don't want to think about it. Because I don't. I said this the other day. Thank you for that, I Am King. So you started me on solar power. Now I'm ready for any grid down scenario. Thank you for that. Thank you. You're very welcome. This ship has hit the iceberg. And there is no other ships in the water to come and rescue us. This is just like the Titanic. The Titanic did not sink because it was a poor structure. That ain't why the Titanic sank. The Titanic didn't sink because it's icebergs out there in the ocean. That is not why the iceberg sank. That is not why the Titanic sank. The Titanic sank because of egos. The Titanic sank because certain people and individuals ignored warnings from professionals. The Titanic sank because of a man's ego. Hundreds, if not thousands, of people lost their lives because of one man's ego. Not because the boat was poorly made. Yeah, it had some structural weird thing. None of that would have taken place if this man, when he was warned to slow the boat down because we see ice, slow the boat down, and should we try to figure it out first? Should we go back? Should we go back home? What should we do? He said, full steam ahead. This ship is indestructible. Nothing can sink this ship. This ship is unsinkable. Not just go forward, but I wanted going at full steam ahead. I'd go down there and alert them down in the basement to throw more coal on the fire and get these propellers turning. Does any of this sound familiar to you today? Thank you, Missy. Thank you, Missy Hawk. She says, I want to personally thank you for sharing knowledge with me. I listened and acted over the years. Prepping and practicing is my new normal. Amen. Prepping and oh, I love that. Prepping and practicing is my new normal. You need to put that on a t-shirt. That's beautiful. That's poetic. Prepping and practicing is my new normal. We are in a situation where we have an egotistical madman at the helm, and through all the warnings that everybody has said, that's an iceberg, that's an iceberg, that's an iceberg. He said, this ship, America, is indestructible. Out of his own mouth, he said, this is the most powerful country on the planet. This country is indestructible. Remember on the Titanic, when the crewman said, should we call for help, Captain? The captain said, absolutely not. I don't want to hear nobody talk about calling for help or doing a mayday. Nobody better not touch that emergency radio. This ship is indestructible. Didn't he say it? We don't need no help. Didn't he say that? Didn't the dude from Titanic say that? We don't need help. They need us. Full steam ahead. So all those other ships out in the far distance, they said, I called over there. They said they don't need our help. So don't go help them. I called over there to see what was going on. They said, don't call back. We don't need your help. Did they say that? So all those other ships in the distance, they could almost damn see the Titanic sinking. But they said, they must be cool. They said they don't need us. And here we are, taking on water. While we're taking on water, all the other ships around us is staring at us and like, you on your own. And we have a madman as the captain and an ego the size of the galaxy. A false ego at that. An ego built on lies. I said this years ago, you can lie to yourself so much you start believing it. That's a false ego. That's neither here nor there. The reason why I'm saying this, and I needed to bring that up, is because how long do you think we got? Because right now, this is like a doctor's diagnosis is what we're dealing with now. Is not anymore finding out what's wrong with this country. Now is asking the doctor, so doc, about how long you think I can, well, it spread pretty bad. It's all throughout. I'm going to give you less than this much time to live. We know the problem now. Now we're getting that notification of how much time we got left. The things that have been destroyed by this disease cannot be repaired, cannot be replaced. You can't do surgery on it and take something from somebody else. What is it? A donor? And can't no donors help this. It has liquefied everything on the inside out. That's right. Absolutely. T-Nog said it's going to take years for us to recover from this. And you want to know something, T-Nog? You want to know something? I'm going to give my opinion. I'm going to give my honest opinion. I do not think we will ever recover from this. You know why I think we will never recover from this? Because it's so systemic. It's rooted so deep. This wound is wide open. And even if you put Band-Aids on it, it's rotted. And now it's starting to stink. You smell it. It's rotten. Band-Aids and peroxide ain't doing it. You can almost look at it as your fruit tree. Your fruit tree mess around and get fire blight, right? You can see fire blight on the outside. You can see fire blight on your fruit trees, on the outside of your fruit tree, right? If you can see fire blight on the outside of your fruit tree, and it's just a little bit at this little branch on this tip, that fire blight starts on the inside. It's burnt up all the way down in the trunk. And you have to cut that thing off all the way down damn near to a stump. And sometimes you just got to just remove the whole tree. One thing about fire blight on a fruit tree, it's going to always get fire blight. Without prevention, without some sort of preventative measures from the people that own this tree, it will always get fire blight as long as it lives. No matter how mature it gets. And that's this country. Unless we cut it down to the core, which they'll never do. And once we cut it to the core and watch it grow back again, the people that's taking care of the tree have to be diligent on taking care of it, on medicating it every season, on fertilizing it, on watering it, and protecting it from everything else. We're not going to do it. I don't want to sound hopeless. But if y'all been watching me this long, you know I'm a realist. And I'm gonna say something without saying it, so I hope you with me. There is proof that this cannot be fixed. That proof is I'm trying to figure out the words to say this without getting in trouble. There's some people with a list. And the list goes on and on and on. On this list are the names of people that have done horrible things to keep people, Americans, and this country in bondage. There are thousands of names, and nobody will let the rest of the world know, so those people on this list can be held accountable for their crimes. That's how I know this country is over with. I need you to realize something. There are people that read this list every day. They know all the names. They know all the characters. They know all the players. They know all the demons on this list. They get a chance. There are actual people that actually have access to look at all of these names. See, they won't release them to us, but there are people up there that literally see all of their names if they ain't seeing their own name on this list. They are seeing all of these names. See, so while they're lying to the rest of us, they know the truth. Once you've seen it, you can't unsee it. They know the truth. They are in departments and they are in a higher enough position to have access to. Listen, let's get something straight. There are people that have these lists with access to know, is there a real underground, what is it, Area 57, 54, whatever. I keep getting Studio 54 and the alien place mixed up. Is it some aliens? These people have seen paperwork that say, is there other forms of life from other planets? They know that. What is it? Area 51. I said Studio 54. Same thing as a bunch of freaks, right? Bunch of freaks. Studio 54, Area 54, you know what I mean. It was some aliens in Studio 54 too. But, there are actual people that has this list, man. They've seen it. They know. And they work right next to shoulder in the same office, in the same cubicle with all the people on this list. That's how I know that it's going to take time to recover no more. It's never going to be okay no more, man. And that's why I keep talking about the same things over and over and over and over again is because until we all drive it in our head that this is not okay. Let's get with something real quick. Gardening is not a game. If there are any new gardeners watching me right now, this is a profession now. Okay, this is no longer a game. This is no longer a freaking hobby. This is a profession. This is the certification. Gardening and growing your own food, raising your own food is no longer for clicks and views on YouTube. Learning how to can and preserve your own foods is not something that would be neat to know how to do anymore. Remember back in 2020, like we really need it, but that'll be something nice to know how to do. Right? It's no longer that way. Now, if you care about your family, hey, my Renaissance grandma, if you care about your family, you got a job to do. Right now, how many people got kids in school? Kids or grandchildren in school? Raise your hand. Please, if you have children in school or grandchildren in school, even if they are in college, raise your hand. I'll raise all my hands. Come on, I need to see more hands than that because I know I ain't the only one with some kids. Bad. 2. Okay. That's what I want to see. Every day, you pick those children up from school. You make sure they get outside and catch the bus. Or you make sure you drop them off in front of the door of the school. And sometimes you sit there and watch them go into school to make sure they made it into school. Am I right? You go out of your way to try to fix them a healthy meal or give them enough money so when they get into the school, they eat a healthy meal or a decent meal. You take control of that. After school, let's get this. On the way to school, you have conversations with your kids and your grandchildren about safety, how to defend themselves, how to fight. When is it time to fight? When is it time to retreat? You have these conversations with your children on the way to school and on the way home every day. Everybody raise your hand, keep your hands up. You are protecting your children. You tell your kids, stranger danger. If they ask you this, if they handle you lollipops and stuff, go the other way. Go call somebody. Tell an adult. Call me at home, call me at the office. If you run into somebody that's trying to do this to you, trying to hurt you, trying to touch you in any way appropriate, inappropriately, you let somebody know, you let me know. You don't just, if they say they're going to kill the rest of your family, tell them kill them and run. Don't, ain't nobody going to kill me like that. You every day give your kids knowledge on how to keep themselves protected, the right thing and the wrong thing to do in public. Son, when the police pull you over, keep your hands on the steering wheel. They say reach for something and you tell them to do it. You don't reach for nothing. When your children and they college students and you still give them the rule. If the police stop you, don't move, cut the car off, turn the car off. And when they come to the window, keep your hands on the steering wheel. Don't you do that? That's because you're teaching your children how to stay out of harm's way. You are a good parent or a good grandparent or a good aunt or a good uncle. You're protecting our future generations. You're protecting that child. So my question to you, because I've seen a lot of hands raised to say that you do the same thing I do. by protecting my children, right? So you don't think, and I'm going to ask you this, so you don't think teaching your children how to grow their own food, that's not protection as well? You don't think teaching your kids how to protect themselves, that's not it either? You don't think teaching your children how to cook when they don't have any utilities, you don't think that's protecting them the same way that you're teaching them stranger danger? You don't think that's just as important? See, we have gotten to a point where we do that much protecting our children and grandchildren, nieces and nephews, but then we cut it off and give the rest to the system. We okay, that's enough. You made it. I got you to school. You made it home. You ain't bleeding. You ain't crying. Okay, go in there and make yourself a sandwich. I'm going to take a nap. Why did that job cut off? It's still our duty to protect our children, not just when they get out to school, but also out in this world. And what we know that monsters aren't the things living under your bed anymore. Remember, we was kids. The monster live under your bed. They got sharp teeth. Tino say that's why. This is why Jada know how to grow food. Amen. She been growing it since she was a baby. I've been watching her. Why did that knowledge stop? You mean to tell me they're okay while they're in school, but once they get out of school, now you tell them to give the responsibility of their safety over to society. And this, I'm trying to say this without saying it, system. See, us as parents and grandparents, our job never stops. Never. And we need to be a little bit more diligent on what we teach them. Now, I'm gonna go here, all right? Because this is not the world that we grew up in anymore. This is not that world. I'm gonna, hey, Chopper, Chopper. Let me tell you, my son is home for spring break, and I wanted him to sit down and personally. I think he just went back outside. I want him to personally tell y'all the conversation we had yesterday. My son just came home from college yesterday, and I'm going to start the conversation. I hope he comes back in the house. This is what the conversation we had. We had the conversation on. I said I wish I had a time machine. I always joke around with I wish I had a time machine so I could go back in time when things weren't so bad, right? And then I thought about that for a minute. When I said I would go back to the 70s, about 1970, all the way up to about 2016. Other than that, he said, why wouldn't you go back farther than that, Dad? I said, son, I wouldn't go back farther than 1970 because absolutely everything before 1970, listen to me, absolutely everything for us was bad. Ain't that something to think about? Really, truly, before 1970, and trust me, that's loosely stated, was horrible for us. We had a sponge, a little gap of falsehoods and trickery from 1970 to about 2016. After 2016, all hell broke loose. And we're going back to those horrible times. I don't care how you look at it, how you cut it, you have to know the truth. It's people like, oh, I wish I could go back to the ages of fairies and unicorns and stuff and meet my great grandmother. And we can't. Think about this now. If we go back too far, we're screwed. No, if I had let's talk about it, because this is a joke that me and my wife and my son was talking about, and this is all relative what we talking about. If I had a time machine and I jumped in that time machine is really useless to me because I only have about 50 years that I could play with. I don't want to go back and see what my great grandfather used to look like. Did he look like me? Did he act like me? I can't do that. Because if I get out the time machine, I'm going to see my great granddaddy out there in a bad situation. See, it's other people, no matter how far they go back in time, they're going to see their family members, I ain't going to say in great situations, but way better than ours. There are books. When we look back on history, our history on this rock starts at a specific time. Our history starts at a specific time, and it's logged in a book of cattle. In a book like they just brought in like 100 heads of sheep. That's where our history stopped, right there. The reason I'm saying all of this, which I was telling my son, is because we're going back to a day, if we allow it, if we don't teach our children how to be self-sufficient now, right now, I mean today, we will easily get pulled back into being controlled by a group of other people. They have already initiated it. So me talking about learning how to start a fire, cook with wood, learn how to, I got a list here, and I was going to share this with somebody else, but I'm going to share this with you. Okay. These are a few things that I want everybody to work on. Please, not for me, for yourself. I want you, and I got the list right here so you know. I want you to learn how to start a fire. Hopefully, you'll learn how to start a friction fire. T-Dog says some people will be sitting on the porch sipping tea. Absolutely. Not our grandparents. Our grandparents and great-grandparents will be the ones serving the tea and lemonade. Number one, learn how to start a fire, whether it be with flint, stones, ferro rods, magnifying glass, water bottles, friction fire with wood, 2 sticks and a stone. I don't care how you learn how to start a fire, but I need you to learn how to start it naturally with the things around you. I need you to practice building a shelter out of nothing. I'm not talking about a tent. Go and buy a $5 tarp from Walmart or Harbor Freight. Get you some paracord or some rope. I don't care. and learn how to build a structure that you can sleep in for 3 days. Number 3, I need for you to learn water purification. Learn how to filter and purify water, whether it's water that you find in a creek, a lake, rainwater, your tears, I don't care. Learn how to filter that water. And I'm going to give you a cheat sheet. One of the best ways to filter that water that you find in an emergency is the step number 1. You need to know step number 1 before you can get to water purification, which is step number 1 is fire. You need charcoal to filter water. If you want to filter water fast, you need charcoal. You can't get charcoal without fire. Okay? Other than that, you can use all kind of stuff. Sphagnum moss, grass, pebbles, stones, that sand. But that charcoal, that's the one that's going to help you from getting sick. And I'm just going to give you an example, okay? When you get really sick or you've eaten some poison, if you've had any kind of poison and it's in your body, what does the hospital give you? You end up in the ER and you have somebody has alcohol poisoning or they've swallowed some poisonous materials. What is the first thing that they administer in the ER when they find out that you may have some sort of poison? Anybody? Question. Anybody? They administer charcoal. Right. Absolutely. We used to cram charcoal down everybody's throat because we had a lot of people, a lot of children get into stuff they ain't got no business getting into, swallowing things they ain't had no business swallowing. And we had a lot of adults that end up drinking too much. And the only way to keep your brains intact is to absorb all of that. And either it come out the attic or come out the basement. You understand what I'm saying? I got to start watching my words here. Charcoal. I got charcoal everywhere. You believe that? I got a video on making activated charcoal or charcoal, and people think it's a gimmick. That's not how it's made, lead farmer. You're using the wrong stuff. Okay, if I'm using the wrong stuff, it has pretty much helped and saved half of my family over the last 5 years alone. You can't crush charcoal on the ground. Now it's contaminated. Oh my God, the ignorance of people. All right. Lesson number 4. Got it right here. Trapping small game. You saw that video, Tino? You are so welcome. You should see how many hundreds, if not thousands, of people telling me I don't know what I'm doing. But we literally use it. That's right, Bougie Prepper. Number 4, trapping small game. When I say trapping small game, I'm not just talking about fishing. I'm talking about building traps, and I wish I was building traps and snares to catch animals for food. Right, small game like squirrels, rabbits, possums, raccoons, and all other kind of little weird stuff creeping around the bottom of the yard. Tino, see, I got some possums around here I need to get rid of. I'll be down there. I got something for them. So I'm going to show you something that me and my wife was working on this morning for breakfast. I can't make this up. Listen, I don't know if y'all think that I do this for YouTube or what. I am here to tell you this, the person you see here, this is me. A lot of you I know in person, and I have talked to y'all on the phone, and y'all have been knowing me for years. We have broke bread and everything else. You know, this is me. Sometimes I could be so kind that I'm foolish, and I've been corrected about that. Sometimes I could be a little too hard on folks. But I'm telling you, this is not a fake personality that I'm coming across on YouTube. When you meet me in the street, this is who you see. This is me. I like to have a good time, but I'm serious about my stuff. And I can honestly tell you, hell, I ain't gonna lie to you. I drive my wife crazy sometimes with the stuff we do. So this is what me and my wife did for breakfast. What? Look. Yogurt. So we had coffee, toast, yogurt, and snare traps. So we went back and forth making these. For breakfast. Who does that? And this is an everyday occurrence. We don't sit around making snare traps. But me and my family sit around and we talk about reality and survival every day, whether it be survival in the woods or just surviving the concrete jungle every day. My daughter just called me the other day and we talking about how hard it is out here in the world. Something this simple. For breakfast. Missy said, I can't wait to learn how to make snares. I can't say it right now, but yep. Just like Vanessa. Vanessa was like, later. Oh. Let me, can I show y'all one? Wait, let me see. What type of metal you use? I screwed up and my first traps corroded. Now, it depends. Now, if you don't use your traps, you got to keep them clean and keep them protected, okay? Now, I can't get into what I use on this channel because that's going to be for the membership. If I got members, I'm going to tell them, okay, what material I use, how much it costs, where I got it from, how to trap. I'm going to show them how to trap. Okay, so that's going to, I told you, my membership is for real people. And we're going to do real stuff. This ain't no everybody winning prizes every week and all that garbage. Nah. That's why I'm like, if you don't want to come into my membership, you don't want a thumbnail, you don't want a channel, don't sign up, please. It's not no 3 and 5 different tiers. Like no, it's one price. Everybody is on the same level. I don't play that crap either. Everybody is on one tier, one price. And some people say, well, that's too high. I'm sorry. I'm doing that to protect the rest of us. And that price was also going to help me work on the projects that we're going to be doing. So it is what it is. I'm not, everybody keep asking me, so are you going to take everything down off of this channel? No, I'm going to keep coming to my normal channel. But when it comes to the reality, I had to start the membership to keep the trolls out. I had a troll in here the other day say something about my wife. And now I said, I'll rest my case. This is no longer a protected place to discuss reality. That's neither here nor there. So let's go over this again. real quick. Fire, shelter, water purification, and trapping, catching and trapping small game for food. I'm going to put one more in there. I'm going to add one more in there right now. And you know what that's going to be? Food identification. Food identification meaning learning how to forage for food. What out there can you eat and what out there is going to make you sick or worse? When you go out here, you start picking up mushrooms, which one of these mushrooms will turn you into mushrooms? And which one of these mushrooms is going to be good to eat so you can live to play another day? Everything out here green ain't edible. It's not for human consumption. That's right, Bougie Prepper. Number 5, food identification, aka foraging. There are animals out here that you cannot eat. Certain frogs out here that will have you face down in the water like a lily pad. You try to eat a couple of these frogs out here, that bright red and that bright yellow, you try to nibble on one of them frogs, he'll be using you as a lily pad later that night. Okay, you may have eaten him, but the rest of his whole family gonna be sitting on your back croaking while you float down the river. So, food identification. I want to touch on, since we've been in here so long, I'm gonna stay in here 10 more minutes, so we'll make it an hour and a half. Because I just want to make sure that this is pure educational. This is, I should save, no, I'm not gonna save this for another video. We need this now, okay? And I'm not gonna go into detail with it. I'm just gonna announce it. All right, these are things that we need to do, all of us together. It's time to let stuff go. It's 2026. The United States is in a crisis. There are power and grid outages around the world. We gotta cut the crap. What I mean is, it's time to let stuff go. Some people around us, I'll start with that. Some people around us that ain't doing us no good. Let them go. You ain't got to be mad with it. You ain't got to be harsh with it. You got to be rough with it. But it's some people that is not serving you in one way or the other. And if the boot hit the poop, they will be a burden instead of an asset. I need you to really start thinking about that. Who around you in your circle will be more of a burden than an asset? Who will mess around and get you in some trouble? Who around you would end up taking their last breath with you because of them? Who around you in your circle, your family, your friends, which one of y'all is the lame duck? Which one of you suckers is going to get me in trouble? Dead weight. Thank you, TLC in the garden. Which one of y'all? And you ain't got to be harsh or rough and say, no. Just analyze this situation. Okay? So getting rid of some of these excess people in your life that are more of an anchor than a rudder or a propeller. Are you an anchor or are you a propeller? That's what I need you to ask yourself. The people in your life right now, are you an anchor or are you a propeller? Kids don't count, okay? So don't be trying to throw your kids off to the races. Your kids don't count. But there are people in your life that you got to start asking yourself, are you trying to help me move forward or are you holding me back? They got to go. It's a hard thing to do. Missy Hawk says, I told a longtime friend what I've been doing, and he acted like I was crazy. That's why we haven't talked in a couple years. Some people ain't going to be on your journey. Some people are not going to understand because they can't see the truth. And it's I just watched that movie They Lived again the other night. I don't know why I keep watching it, but the movie is so horrible, it's so corny. But damn it, the message. Every time he put those glasses on and he see the truth, obey, consume, impregnate, all the stuff he kill, wheel, deal, all the stuff he see when he put them glasses on, monsters. Don't you wish we had those glasses now? Instead of keep waiting for the monsters to release the list, we could just put those glasses on and see all of these goblins and monsters. Monsters, tell your children, tell them Uncle Led said, there are no monsters under your bed. If you have kids, please tell them, Uncle Led said, whenever they get scared, Mama, can I sleep with you? Mom and Dad, can I come in there sleep in your room? Mom and Dad, can I go back downstairs watch TV? I'm scared. If they ever say that, tell them Uncle Led said there are no monsters in your closet. There are no monsters under your bed. Now, I will turn on the news and I'm going to show you what real monsters look like. There are no long fangs. There are no long, creepy fingernails. No, they ain't walking upside down and backwards. You know? No, they don't got stringy, wet hair with one eye showing through it. They ain't got on no hockey mask. And they ain't got on no glove made of knives. No. I'm going to turn on the news and I'm going to show you what monsters look like. They wear suits and ties, expensive shoes, expensive watches, expensive cars, beautiful wives. That guy right there, those are the monsters. Those are the ones that you should be scared of. Not the noise that you hear under your bed. The thing under your bed is a roach. Something is, if there's making a sound in the corner, Mom, that's a roach in the garbage can. Baby, it's gonna be all right. I threw a donut in there earlier. And it's gonna make a bunch of noise and paper in there and it's crunching around on that paper, nibbling on that donut. Don't worry about that. The real monster is on TV. So you tell your kids, Uncle Led said ain't no such thing as monsters under your bed or in your closet. They on TV. It's time to let stuff go. The junk out of your house. It's time to not just clean out the closet in your life and get rid of people that's just taking up space, but it's also time to get rid of all this crap that we've accumulated. And I'm going to prove it. It's time to start downsizing and getting ready. Gotta watch my words. It's time to start downsizing and getting ready to survive. I was going to say another word. It's time to start downsizing and getting ready to survive. Clean out your garages. Clean out your attics. Clean out your closets. All this excess trash around the house that just sit there for good looks, let it go. And I'm going to tell you, I've been started. I started cleaning my garage out and getting rid of everything that is not going to serve me in a survival situation. And I'm going to tell you a heartbreaker. I got rid of something that it hurt me on a personal level, but it was 100% unnecessary. Everybody know, I drive motorcycles. Now I'm going to tell you a little backstory. When I was a kid, I've been driving motorcycles my whole life. My dad showed me how to drive a motorcycle. I knew how to drive a motorcycle before I knew how to drive a car. Okay? My first vehicle when I went to school was a motorcycle. When I met my wife, I was on a motorcycle. I didn't even have a car. That's how motorcycle man I am. I got my motorcycle license before I got my car license. So my dad was a motorcycle man, and you want to know what? His whole life, all he kept saying, well, not his whole life, but ever since I've been around, you know what he say? One of these days, son, we're going to get us a Harley Davidson. Me and you, because I used to ride with my dad everywhere. Anytime he say, let's go, I jumped on that motorcycle like, man, I felt like, the Lone Ranger in Tonto, me and my dad riding into the sunset on his motorcycle. He had a Yamaha, he had a Kawasaki, he had a Suzuki. I was there for all of them. Every time my daddy went to get, make me want to cry. Every time my daddy went to the dealership and got him a new motorcycle, or he bought one off somebody, he took me with him. That's how deep this runs for me. And my dad always said, son, one of these days we're going to mess around and get us a Harley. We're going to get us a Harley Davidson. And I've been hearing this since I was a little bitty kid. Unfortunately, my dad passed away, years ago, and he never got a chance to live that dream. So when I was financially stable enough, I purchased a Harley Davidson, and I purchased it in basically for my father. Okay? And in his honor, I purchased a Harley Davidson. Yes, they're overrated. Yes, it's just a name. No, they are not perfect. I bought that in the honor of my father. No, it wasn't my favorite. Out of all the motorcycles I've had, I want to say my Harley Davidson was my least favorite motorcycle of them all, but I held on to it in the name and the honor of my father. I sold my Harley Davidson the other day. It hurt. It hurt. But I had to remember one thing. Number one, that is not my father. Me owning that Harley Davidson is not going to bring my father back to this earth. I had to keep that all in my head. No matter how long I shine on it, keep it under a tarp in the garage, that's not bringing my father back. That is not him. Once I start cleaning out my closet and cleaning out my office and all the stuff I'm cleaning out, something got to go. Some of this stuff got to go. None of this, a Harley Davidson is not going to help me survive. A Harley Davidson is not going to do anything sitting in my garage. It's not going to put food in our mouths. It's not going to keep us warm. It's not going to get you too much travel because the gas mileage is horrible. No. It just sits there and gives you a social status. Just like the Mercedes-Benz in your driveway. It doesn't do anything. It just gives you a social status to make you feel as you're better than your neighbor. Because your Mercedes-Benz does the exact same thing as your neighbor's Hyundai. Tino said, I love my Suzuki when I was in my 20s. You couldn't tell me nothing. So you understand what I'm saying? I sold it. And now using that resource, that money, to further help us get ready for what's to come. What EcoFlow is in the thumbnail? That is the EcoFlow Ultra. EcoFlow Ultra. Okay. Do I have any questions about anything we talked about today? Cleaning up house, getting rid of all this junk, and start to make a move and get ready to survive. I want to say something else, you know what I'm saying? But right now they got me by the grapes. So I gotta keep, unfortunately, I gotta watch what I say because they don't want you. Before I go, I'm gonna tell you one more way that I know that this country will never correct itself. One last thing I gotta say. I got proof of how I know that this is unrepairable. This country will never bounce back because truth is a crime. And crime is the way of life now. Is EcoFlow Delta Pro 3 still good? Absolutely. I have it right out here in my trailer. I use it right now. Absolutely. That is actually one of my favorites. It is actually my all-time favorite. The EcoFlow, where were you at? Yeah, the Delta Pro 3 is my all-time favorite. So the more that I talk about truth, instead of just not talking about anything, I'm seeing a pattern here on social media. And as long as you're not talking about anything, and T-Nog, I've been watching you too, and I've noticed the same. Anytime you start telling your viewers any truth, or you're trying to keep them abreast of our current situation. Now, mind you, you're not necessarily being opinionated. You're just basically regurgitating what's happening. If you do that, if you actually tell factual truth these days, you will be punished for it. If you are a criminal, you're held at a higher standard. It's not nothing I'm making up. We're watching it. We're watching it. You're being rewarded and given all the power of the universe because you're a criminal. You're a criminal so bad that you're trying to erase the truth that was written in books. Written, you wrote them. You told the truth because you was bragging on the horrific stuff that you did. It was bragging rights back then, but now that truth is coming back to haunt you. You say, get rid of all that. I gotta tone it back down. I'm sorry, y'all, because I was about to go off. It's just very frustrating to be punished for giving facts, for telling the truth, for telling what you're seeing, not something I made up or dreamed out in my head, what I am seeing. And I see a lot of content creators all across social media being punished for telling the truth, being withheld, being muzzled, being shut down or shut up or shut off for telling the truth, not their truth, the truth. If I look out this window, the sun is up, sky is blue, leaves on the trees. That's the truth. And I can prove it like this. Sun is up, sky is blue, leaves on the trees. Grass is green. See how simple that was? See how easy that is to tell the truth? I can prove it just by showing it to you. You can come and touch it. You can come feel the sun rays on your skin. You can feel the wind from the sky. You can rub your feet in the grass. I can prove the truth. And we're being punished for that. We're being throttled back for that. And then the other part is there are people that leave your channel for that because they don't want to hear the truth. They want to be entertained. Make me laugh. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that we're going to be held captive or we're going to be in a fight between countries. I don't want to know that. Tell some jokes. But then you turn around and tell the joke, and then you silenced again because somebody is too sensitive to the joke. There is no fixing this. What we all have to do now as a people is to figure out how to move forward from this point on and survive. Ain't no fixing this. There is no fixing this. I said it before, and I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to go. This empire is going to crumble the same way it was built. I'm going to repeat it. This empire is going to crumble the same way it was built. It was built with evil. It was built with horrible intentions. It was built with torture. It was built with unfairness. It was built with it was built with lies. It was built with deceit. It was built with deception. And that's the way it's going to crumble. Unfortunately, it's going to take a lot of innocent people along with it. We put the wrong people in charge. That's all. That's all I got. So everybody, thank you for coming. Thank you for the super chats. I want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you, T-Dog. Thank you, TLC in the Garden. Granny Karma, thank you. My Renaissance Grandma, thank you. Johnny J says, history happening right before our eyes. Who's going to hear our cries? T-Nog says, stop crying. That was poetic. Don't waste your energy on crying. Save your energy to be ready to fight. Don't waste your energy being sad or angry or upset. Save your energy for the fight. That's all I got. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Missy Hawk. With that being said, Lil Farmer 73, I love you. Stay safe. Stay sane. I love you, and I'm out.